Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we're discussing the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore. Now, this right here is a black ceramic and green ceramic 43mm model launched in 2025. So the basic model is a few years old, I believe originally debuting back in 2023, but this combination of black and green is hot off the presses, launched in 25. 43 millimeters in diameter, 14.5 millimeters thick. If we measure just lug to lug, the case is 53.7 millimeters across the wrist. If we measure these plots, these little intermediate lengths, the total rigid distance across the wrist is 56.4. Now, mostly in a combination of titanium, sapphire, and ceramic, it's fairly light for its size. So on my wrist, it doesn't feel massive. It looks large, however, and I'll let you decide whether my wrist is the smallest wrist that can wear this watch or the largest wrist that cannot. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see the watch is probably thinner than you expect. It will fit under a jacket cuff. Here's your down the barrel angle. Here's your over the top. The strap is a lovely piece. You can see it's got a sort of lightly grained pattern molded into it, and then we've got these strakes that visually extend the plots, the bevel of the case flank continuing into the flank of the strap, and the whole thing with a quick release system that AP has rolled out since 2021. Double quick release system. You just push the button. Easier to do if you're not trying to do it on camera. Pops right out just like that. So you can fit any kind of a AP replacement strap, whether you want alligator or calf or color. Many different options available from Audemars Piguet, and it just snaps right back in just like a car seat belt buckle. AP recognizes that if there's a quick release of the strap from the case, but the strap is stuck on the buckle, you can't quickly and easily swap straps. So there is a little lobe that is built into the buckle, and that allows you to laterally remove the strap from the buckle. So you can also swap the buckle to a new strap. You can see a combination of polish, satin brush, and media blast here. Rolling around the case, the exact same degree of detailing that you get on a Royal Oak or an Offshore in metal is here rendered in ceramic. Beveling, satination, sharp breaks between them. It is a gloriously detailed execution of hand finishing, and the materials I think used for this include very hard metal and also diamond-tipped milling tools. You can see that the shoulder around the crown is hexagonal, just like the steel bolts in the bezel. It's a screw-down crown, 100-meter water resistance. We have these angular titanium pusher guards that are fixed by screws. They can be replaced if they're gouged. Note the subtlety of the satination on the side of the crown and then the polish on the face of the crown. You can see that contrast all the way around. The bezel gasket here, sandwiched between bezel and case. You can see the case back is made of titanium as the metal hardware, other than the bolts on the bezel, titanium here. You can also see that the bezel has an irregular thickness. It actually ebbs at 6 o'clock and at 12 o'clock, and then it swells at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. You can also see how that affects the camber of this rather unique sapphire. Taking a quick look at the watch, you can see that when Emmanuel Guet designed the Royal Oak Offshore for 1993 release, he wanted the original Royal Oak to be obvious, but also for it to be bigger, have more presence, more water resistance, a more aggressive watch overall. But he kept important parts like the hexagonal bolts in the bezel and the rounded octagonal bezel from the very first Gerald Genta designed Royal Oak of 1972. And that octagonal bezel, though it's subject to much folklore, it was based on a vintage diving helmet. Now the watch here has the Mega Tapisserie dial. There is the Petite Tapisserie, there is the Grand, and then the Mega. And the Mega is the big one. You can see here that actually has quite a bit more surface interest and texture than you would find on previous versions of the Mega. For this generation, it's been given a little bit of fluting as well as a sort of cross bracing between the hobnails. All of the sub-registers feature polished chapter rings. We have applique indices, AP logo. You can see we've got a dark green date disc to match the dial, a black tachymetric scale outboard that can be used with the chronograph to gauge the speed of an object, such as a race car over a kilometer. And this is a flyback chronograph. You can reset and restart without first stopping. Very useful if you're timing events that occur in rapid succession. Note we've got a little bit of Fotina going on here, or maybe we'll just call it a little bit of an ecru tone to add some warmth. We have hacking or stop seconds. So you can set the watch to the second against a reference time. We also have a quick set date, so you can rapidly cycle that if you need to do so. Again, screw down crown, 100-meter water resistance, a swimmable watch. All of this ceramic making for an incredibly scratch-resistant wearing experience. Out back, you can see we've got a AP in-house caliber. And what you're looking at right here is caliber 4401, and it was designed for the standard Royal Oak, the Code Chronograph, and the Offshore, but primarily for the Offshore, which is why it was built tough out of the gate. Full balance bridge with a Gyromax-style free-sprung balance for shock resistance, bidirectional automatic winding with ceramic ball bearings for high efficiency, but also so it doesn't have that unweighted wobble of a 7750. You can see here we have blackened gold rotor with 4 different finishing styles atop it. We have a column wheel for crisp function cycling of this chronograph mechanism, so it feels and sounds sharp. Vertical clutch engagement, so when it jumps into action, it doesn't leap into action. It starts without any play, stagger, or advance. Lateral clutches have play. Vertical clutches like this do not. A vertical clutch also allows you to keep the chronograph running full-time with no additional hazard wear and tear to the mechanism. Also important, we have a 70-hour power reserve, 4 Hertz beat rate, 40 pivot joules, and one of the few cases where I can actually say a vertical clutch is visible. Right here, this is the vertical clutch mechanism. Pardon me. This is the vertical clutch mechanism. See that right there? Releasing and activating, and then deactivating the vertical clutch. It's basically 2 wheels that couple by friction vertically, so that's why there's no play in it. And this is one of the few cases where I can actually say a vertical clutch is physically attractive. They're normally ugly styles of chronograph. This is actually a good looking one because they make it visible. And the finishing standard here is to a very high level. It is a combination of hand and mechanical decoration. AP does that commonly, and so does Patek Vacheron and even Lange. It's price appropriate, and you will not be disappointed. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.